Welcome to Action, the podcast to encourage you to take action. I'm Virginie, leadership coach and speaker. In my podcast, I share with you the keys to leadership through interviews. Hello, some people. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome Byeonggil Park. How are you, Byeonggil?
Everything good. Thank you, Virginie. Thank you for having me here in the awesome podcast. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. To begin with, tell us about your professional background, where you're from, and what do you do for a living now?
I study environmental engineering at the college. Unfortunately, haven't worked with my degree at all since I have a different job right now. From South Korea. There's a small town called Busan. It is a nice city in southern part of Korea. And I'm currently working as a data engineer in Zalando, which is a fashion e-commerce company in Europe. But I have been working as the backend engineer past 4 years.
Okay. How long have you been living outside Korea?
In Berlin, it's been 4 months. I landed here in March 1st, and I also lived in California for 1 year and another 1 year for solo traveling, backpacking. So I travel most of the Europe, Africa, South America. So in a nutshell, total 2 years and plus.
How did you end up in the USA and then Germany?
I think it's quite, interesting question for me because I haven't really thought about it before. Speaking of the United States, I just wanted to speak English to work overseas. And if I can have a work experience in America, I thought I would be able to survive literally everywhere. And luckily, there's a government program called WEST, which is stand for Working, Education, Study, Traveling. It sounds like a fancy term. In a nutshell, it's just internship program in States. So I was so lucky to work in government agency in San Francisco as a data analyst, assistant intern. And the Germany, I just wanted to move to English speaking country at first because English is English is the language that I can speak aside from the Korean. So I didn't mean to come to Germany because I don't speak German at all, but it's only country allow me to have working visa without company sponsorship, which is really amazing. So they makes immigrant process easier than other country. And I got an offer from one of them.
Okay. What was your state of mind before coming to the USA and then Germany?
Speaking of the States, my head was full of the Hollywood stereotypes. Like people are confident, outgoing, proactive, proud of themselves most of the time. I think it's true, but I saw many downsides as well, like gun violence, like crime rates and stuff. But Germany, it's kind of opposite. Like I didn't have much of the expectation about the German before. I only heard a lot of bad stereotypes, like the grumpy people, like bad weather in winter, foods are not really great, and how emotionless like people are. But since I moved to Berlin, it's totally wrong. Like people are really great, nice. The beautiful weather in summer, feel more free. Berlin.
Okay. Have you ever worked in Korea before you came to Germany?
Yeah, I worked in like 4 different corporate job in South Korea for 4 years. So that's the only experience that I have.
I know you arrived in March 2024 in Germany. What are your first impressions of Germany?
Like I said earlier, I didn't have so much of the expectation. But as of now, I can describe Berlin in 2 words: the freedom and diversity. The Germany's like the Berlin itself is a hippie culture. Every individual have their own personality, the way they dress up, the way they talk. I think society embrace those diversity very well. It makes me act like myself. I have a certain kind of expectation from people that I act like myself. So I believe they don't really judge people that much, which brings me so much confidence and let me be myself.
Okay. So I think you can easily answer to this question. What made you stay in Germany?
Um, to be honest, it was the first country gave me a job offer. I applied a lot of companies in UK, States, Australia. I have a few opportunities, but it didn't work out very well. So I wanted to stay out of Korea as soon as possible. And the Berlin, they got me an answer. So I choose to stay in Berlin.
Was it easy for you to make friends in the West, and why?
I think it's easier to make a friend like than Korea, for me at least, because I know it sounds weird, but um I've been in most of the main countries in the world. I have like things to talk or things to share with the people, so I can make a connection easily. So yeah, I can talk to pretty much everything, many things, making a connection with people, and I learn also sarcasm in America, which is the one of the good way to make some jokes. So yeah,
Mhm.
for me,
But French are best than American with sarcasm.
I heard about it a lot.
Okay. Um, what was your biggest culture shock in your life in general?
Life in general, I I don't think I have much of the culture shock because we are always exposed by the media, but one of the culture shock that I recently have was the sick note, you know. So we didn't in Korea, when you get sick, you have to take your own vacation time, which is only 14 days every year, which is very small. So it's kind of painful to use vacation when you get sick. So it's normal to come to work even if you're sick because you don't want to, spend your vacation time. Or it's one of the way to show how much you're working hard even though you get sick. So I come to office working hard, showing a dedication to your boss or your leader. But in Germany, it's regulated by law that you have to, take a sick note whenever you get sick. Otherwise, it's part of the company's fault that let employee left in sick. So
Okay.
I can fully recover without worrying about vacation. So, which is brings so much work and life balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Let's talk about your life at work. Did you notice any differences between the way you worked in Korea and the way you worked in the USA and then currently in Germany?
I found myself, it's very interesting question. But I can't really tell the difference between German and American company because our company is very diverse, international company. So, because like there's only two German people in a team. So, but
Okay.
yeah, but one thing I can tell is that the people are very proactive. So, it's more proactive than Korea. We have a culture following order from the higher people. We have a like hierarchies in ages and position. So it's hard for us to stay against what older or higher position people said. But here, there's not so much boundary between ages and positions. So you can freely talk about your ideas and thoughts easily. It brings more idea and the better decision, I would say.
Okay. So if you had to take the best of both cultures, the West and Korea, what would it be?
If I have to choose,
Yeah.
um, There's a lot of pros and cons. I can't really choose one thing at a time, but I want to take higher working culture from Korea. People are very motivated. Yeah, they're really self-motivated, and it's always a pleasure to working with those kind of professional people. But in Germany, people are very they really um, they know how to accept the diversity. So they're very respectful. They always have some kind of expectation that people will be different. So always listen, and they always ready to listen to other people and ready to discuss and um, receive other feedbacks from people. So that's a good thing for from the German side.
Okay. What was hardest to understand about the work culture in the USA, Germany, and why?
What was the hardest things to understand? Um, um, I think there's a lot of discussions. In Korea, most of the decision is coming from the top. So like executives or team leaders, they make most of the decision, and the people, they just follow them. Also, if you talk a lot, you're kind of standing out, which is it's not the virtue in Korean society. People think that, he just might want to getting attention, or, they wanted more benefits from that. But here, whenever whenever people make a huge decision, it always comes together, make an open discussion and debate about it. I think there's our pros and cons, but discussion lead to right decision most of the time, and sharing knowledge. And yeah, I think it sounds fair.
What was your relationship with your leaders? I mean, boss, managers in the USA and Korea.
In the USA and Korea, I think the leadership in the West in general, um, um, in a relationship wise, it's feel like a coworker. So I don't feel any pressure to talk with them. I openly discuss about like my discomfort, my problems and stuff, and they always listen very well. They give me a suggestion. In Korea, they're still the same, but there's a hierarchies still, ages and position wise. So there's a kind of like the boundaries in between. Kind of feel like a silo. There's some like a wall in between, so I can really open to discuss about how am I feeling in a job. So yeah, those are differences, I would say.
And what do you think about work in Germany?
In general,
yeah,
I don't think I have much of the like authentic German working environment at all. My company is international company. But I really love, to be honest, so far, because there are some diversities and individualism, open discussion, proactiveness, which fits my personality. I like to work with the people who respect others and listen well, and, stress about their ideas. So it will bring always the healthy discussion and make a better choice at the end. So I think I like it.
Okay. How have your travels abroad impacted your outlook on life?
Also, that's my favorite question because nobody asked me before. The travel, it changed my perspective a lot. I've been growing up a lot from the trip. I learned from it. And because I have been growing up in Korea, which always have, answer of the life. People should follow mainstream, go to the nice college, big corporation job, like Samsung, Hyundai, and getting married at a certain age. And money is a very important value, and hardworking as well. You know, what I discovered was there's a different world out there I didn't know about. But there are a different way of the life as well. So I can simply adopt it as my mindset to be a better person. So I put more value on myself, self-love, family, over money and working,
Okay. How has it impacted the way you perceive yourself?
The impact, I think I learned that there's a different people out there aside from the Korean. Like they act differently, and they're chasing a different virtue. So in Korea, you can't really see that. Like people have a similar thoughts in mind. So you might think that, oh, I can change their mind in a mainstream. If there's somebody getting out of the track, people tend to manipulate them to be on the right track, but the right track in your life. So I learned from the trip that I can accept the differences in individuals.
How do you see your future, Mr. Park?
For now, I try to love myself more. I focus and worry about my future a lot. It's kind of ruined my life, I would say. So, looking for what I love to do and what my passion is. Currently, I'm really into triathlon these days. So, like cycling, swimming, running is my focus right now. But in 5 years, I wish I can have someone who I love the most and having my own family.
What would be your word of encouragement to the listeners?
I always wanted to tell people that if somebody having a hard time and feel like in a dark seas, because I was in that situation as well, I want you to know that if you take a small step at a time and believe in yourself, one day your time will come. That's the message to the people out there.
Okay, thank you, Byeonggil, for sharing your experiences with us.
Thank you, Virginie.
If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe to my channel, share, and comment. I'll be happy to share another experience with you on the next podcast.